women that prophetess Deborah walked with, not only shall you be called Little John, but you shall prophesy to kings and queens and heads of states. That would have never happened if we stayed in Jersey. The angel guided us wittingly into the spot. They were at the Dorrell Inn right across from the Waldorf Astoria. And we were sitting there with about 5 people in a room and not knowing how we were going to pay the bill because we're here because God told us to be here. And we had to trust God on that journey. Then from there, people from the UN started coming into the meetings and sitting in the service and getting prophecy. At the time, the deputy ambassador of Trinidad and other people and ambassadors from countries were starting to come in. Next thing we knew, the South African contingent started. And then we found ourselves standing in the UN prophesying, yea, yea, saith the Lord. All of that was God, as we heard his voice, helping us to fulfill our contract. And our contract isn't complete yet. So when you get the word of the Lord and the prophet speaking into your life, there's a book of your life that is sitting there. When we get a word, we may say something to you. You may say, I don't understand it. I don't confirm a word in my life. Neither did it confirm when Prophet Taylor said, you shall be speaking to kings and queens. I said, I ain't been no further than South Carolina. How I'm getting to a king or a queen. Woman, you sure you got this word right? I don't even own a passport. How am I getting to a king? I live in Bed-Stuy. But by the age of 24 years old, my wife and I were standing in the palace of Swaziland, speaking to the Queen Mother and prophesying about a coup that was about to take place months before it happened. And for the first time, they had high treason in their government. Since then, spoke to the king of Swaziland, the king of the Ashanti Kingdom, amen, of Ghana. There's 2 sitting African kings that there are because there's not many monarchs left. And I can go on with the prophetic word of the Lord. And there are still prophetic words that are yet to come to pass. God said the days would come in Zoe. Now this is another part of the prophecy I am almost about to open up. God said that the days would come that Zoe would run, the mayor of New York City would run out of Zoe Ministries. That was a prophetic word. It has yet to fulfill itself. We don't even know how it's going. The Lord also told us that we would become a captain of 1,000. And we were ready for that. We said that's the mega church. He's saying that's our mega church. So we thought, and God says, no, it isn't. I think it's the captain of 1,000 prophets that are going to be full-time on telephones, that are getting ready to bring a movement across America in the word of the Lord to help America to fulfill its contract. What happens when a nation veers off of its course? Then the prophets have got to emerge. Because when the nation veers off its course, the economy veers off course. When the economy veers off course, people veers off course. When people veers off course, they start running to the prophet because the prophet is the only place where you can come into your supernatural supply.
Yes, yes.
I've got to get back in touch with my contract.
Yes.
Now, You don't marry for love. You marry for the will of God. You're marrying for what the reason that God gave Eve to Adam to be a helpmeet. Help meet my contract. It has nothing to do with love. It has to do with our sacred contract on this journey. That's why when we say things like, sex is not for adults, sex is for married people. Why? Because sex is only supposed to be handled in the area of covenant. And when it's done in a covenant relationship, it is sanctioned because now the two of you have come together for the highest purpose. And that is for more than just having children, it is to fulfill your contract. What has been written of you? What has God been saying concerning you? What are you supposed to be joined with? Who are you supposed to be joined to? Every one of us, on some level, are masters, working towards mastery. And when you do, you're going to help unlock other people's contracts, and you'll be able to say, follow me, I will make you. It's all part of the sacred contract. It's a sacred trust. Even your money. Some of you are not going to marry until you look to see if marriage is in the contract. And when marriage is in the contract, the looks don't matter because the purpose outweighs the looks. The purpose outweighs whatever the situation is. We've come together, and that is why when people are joined together, you're joined together by odor. Even animals smell the other animal when it's in heat. It is odors that will attract you to your mate. You think you like what you see. You really don't choose her by sight. You choose her by smell. And she chooses you by smell. It is one way of feeling the vibrational pull. And that sense of smell is very deep because when you look, I'm just trying to remember from the days of my aromatherapy studies. I think the olfactory system is one of the quickest way it goes and does a triggering in the brain through the sense of smell.
Triggers memories.
And it brings memory. And when you find your mate, that smell will trigger something in the mind and eternity past. That's why those on a spiritual plane will understand that it is a soulmate. Now, I'm going to say something else too. And I know I'm getting into a lot of spiritual truths. And I could show you this. You will have several marriages on this plane. Several. Some will have 2, some will have 4. The perversion of this on this plane here in America is polygamy. Or keep repeating divorce and remarriage on the low level. I'll show you some marriages that were marriages on a plane, but they evidently lifted to a spiritual level. Ginger Rogers was a